Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today I just kind of wanted to take the time to just kind of talk to you guys a little bit about some things that have been going on in my life. I tried doing a chit chat, get ready with me, talking about these topics, and it's nothing like bad or anything, it's just random life stuff, you know. But I tried doing a chit chat, get ready with me, talking about this stuff, and it turned into a 114-minute video, which I think is roughly an hour and a half. And I was like, nobody has time to watch that, and I don't have time to edit that. So, yeah, I deleted that, and I was like, you know what? I can just sit here and talk to you guys and probably get everything out that, like, I feel like I want to talk to you guys about, you know, in probably 20 minutes or so. Because it was, like, the whole makeup part that was, like, getting in the way. So, yeah. First off, thank you to all my new subscribers. I am at like 105 subscribers now, I think, and that's kind of a big deal for me. It just seemed like I really struggled getting subscribers for a while. And just to know that people actually enjoy my videos and want to keep watching them really makes me want to keep putting them out. And that was the biggest thing I had when I first started YouTube, and I was so struggling to just get a couple of views and only had 1 or 2 subscribers. But I kept telling myself, you know, these couple of people want to watch my videos, and they were telling me, hey, I like what you're doing, keep it up. And my videos have improved, the quality has improved over time. I've been here, it'll be 2 years this summer. So still a small channel, and that's okay, but it's really turned into a great hobby, and I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers, and thank you to everybody who's just stuck with me for the past year and a half. It really means a lot to me, and this has just really turned into a great hobby and a great way for me to kind of document my life in sorts, and just kind of record things that I enjoy, and maybe someday I can look back on and be like, oh, I remember when I did that, or whatever, you know. So I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. I really appreciate it. Second thing I wanted to talk about was just kind of like randomness that happened. Okay, so if any of you out there watch Graveyard Girl, Bunny from Graveyard Girl, I love her. Huge fan. She recently did like a drinking nasty soda pop challenge. I'm not entirely sure what she titled it, but she had a friend on there with her, and her friend was talking about how she doesn't like sweet corn, she only likes regular corn or whatever. And so, okay, honestly, I was just kind of being an asshole when I posted this, but I just posted, so your friend likes feed corn? Because the only corn that I'm aware of that isn't sweet corn is feed corn. And I'm just surprised by how many comments I've gotten on that, with people just saying, and nobody's gotten mean or bashing. And honestly, I mean, my comment wasn't like super nasty. I mean, I could have been a total troll about it. But I just kind of made it, because that was just the first thing that popped in my head. And since getting pregnant, like, I really have a hard time, like, keeping things to myself, and especially when it's online, it's like verbal diarrhea just comes out of my fingers. Like, whatever I'm thinking, I'm just like, la 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 la, like, yeah. And of course, I try to keep everything relatively nice. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I was just kind of like, okay. So I live in the middle of Indiana, and we have corn everywhere, like literally everywhere here. And the only corn that I'm honestly aware of is you have your feed corn and you have your sweet corn. The sweet corn is the kind of corn that we eat like a vegetable. And even doing a Google search, that's exactly what it told me, was that sweet corn is the kind of corn you eat as a vegetable. It comes in different colors. There are different, like, I don't know what you want to call breeds of corn. I don't know, like, of sweet corn. There are different kinds, but it's all sweet corn. If you get corn, like, on a cob, it's sweet. If you get frozen corn, it's sweet. If you get canned corn, it's sweet. If you get cream corn, it's sweet. Like, all the corn that we eat, to my knowledge, is sweet. And then you have your grain corn, the kind that is ground down, harvested when it's hard, ground down. Some of it is used for making popcorn. A lot of it's ground down, made for like corn chips or corn cereal, or what is it, corn starch, corn flour, all that kind of stuff. That's harvested as a grain, and it's not a sweet corn, it's something different. But her friend on the channel was talking about like sweet corn, like the kind of corn like that you eat as a vegetable, which the only other corn I can think of would be feed corn, and feed corn tastes like dirt. It's like the worst thing you could ever want to stick in your mouth. It's horrible. I had it one time. It was a mix-up. My parents had a friend give them a bag full of sweet corn out of a field. I don't know if it was their field or their neighbor's field and they have permission to pick corn, which that's quite common around here in Indiana. If you have a neighbor that's a farmer, a lot of times they'll tell their neighbor, so hey, you can help yourself get corn out of the field if it's a sweet corn field. And I don't know if it was just a mishap, but there ended up being 1 ear of feed corn in the bag of sweet corn, and I got it. And it was like awful, and I was eating it and I was like, what is wrong with this corn? It's disgusting. And everybody else is munching on it and they're like, it's delicious, what's your problem? And I'm like, this does not taste right. And they're like, it's sweet corn, it tastes good. And I'm like, no, this doesn't taste right. And my husband takes mine and eats it, and he's like, no, she's right, this is feed corn. And at the time I didn't know what feed corn was. Honestly, I thought all the corn we grew around here was pretty much like, I thought sweet corn was it, pretty much. Like, I knew there were some kinds of corn, but I pretty much thought the only thing we grew around here was sweet corn. I was wrong. We grow a lot of feed corn too. And you don't want to eat that. It's nasty. So, yeah, but I just got a ton of comments on my comment on her channel. And I think she got like some 2 million hits on that video or something. So when I made the comment, I kind of thought it was something that I was just kind of saying, putting it out there for whatever reason. But I honestly didn't think that I would get anybody noticing it, just because there were so many comments and such. I really didn't think anybody would pay attention. But seriously, like, I never commented back on any of the other comments. I was like, I'm not getting involved in this. But there was a lot of people saying, there's lots of different kinds of corn, and there's white corn and yellow corn. And other people saying, no, the corn you eat is sweet corn. And there was like people debating it. I'm like, wow, that really turned into something. So I just kind of want to throw that out there. I found it interesting. I was like, a little crazy. Next thing I was kind of want to talk to you guys about was just, I guess we were just having some car problems. And when I sat down to film this video originally, like, all the problems were actually like happening right then. So it was a little more like stressful, but now it's all over with. But Mike's car was, so he had his like muffler and exhaust and all that stuff like fall off his car. And that happened a while ago, but his car was just extremely loud after that, which that's quite common when you lose your muffler. So we ended up hearing like this really weird like grinding sound going on in the car, and we were like, okay, we really need to get this into the shop and figure out what's going on. And we were like, okay, well, we think maybe it's just something going on with the muffler. It sounded like almost like it was either a grinding or a dragging, but because the car was so loud, we couldn't really tell exactly what it was. So we decided to put the car in the shop over at Thrifty Muffler and have them rebuild the muffler, because we thought there was something from the exhaust that was dragging. So we got that fixed. Turns out that was not correct, but it made the car extremely quiet, and we could hear what the sound was, and we recognized it's not a dragging sound, that is a grinding sound. And of course, during this whole time frame, Mike's driving my car. So I pretty much like, I have a car, but we don't know what's wrong with it, so you don't really want to drive it very far, which is fine. I mean, I don't work, you know, outside. I have clients that come here for dog grooming, but otherwise I don't work, and I definitely don't work outside of the home, so it's not a big deal for me to go without a car for a few days. So, you know, obviously that's the safest thing, is leave his car here and him take my car. So, and we have the same car, which is weird, but we have the exact same car except for his is red and mine is white, and they're like, his is a little newer than mine, but we have the same car. So we got that fixed, found out it's a grinding sound, but we thought, well, okay, we'll have to get in the shop in, like, in the next 2 weeks when Mike gets paid again, because he gets paid every 2 weeks. So I decided to go to Subway, which is up the street, because I'm craving some Subway, and I'm going through the line, and the car sounds horrible, absolutely horrible. And the Subway guy looks out the window and just gives me a look when I pull up to pay, and I'm like, yeah, it sounds lovely, doesn't it? And he's like, yeah, that's your axle, you need to get that fixed, that's bad. I was like, okay then. And so I go home and I'm like, the guy from Subway said that our axle is broken. We need to get that fixed. So Mike quickly calls up his buddy and is like, hey, you know, hey, can you come check this out? And so his friend comes and looks at it, and turns out that it's not our axle that's broken. It's this thing to do with the passenger side wheel that is broken. And we were really close to losing the wheel. Like, for anybody who knows anything about cars, you have your rotor, and then you have, like, it's like this disc thing that has, man, I'm losing everything. Pregnancy brain is killing me lately. Bolts? Is it bolts? I don't know. You got like 4 of them that poke out from this like circular thing. And behind that, it's like, it looks like a square piece, or at least it looks square to me. I could be wrong on that. But it's like, it attaches your wheel to your car. And that was like broken, and so like we were hearing all this grinding sound because our wheel was about to fall off. So just to think about that was like, holy cow, like, that would have caused a bad accident. Like, a bad accident for me, and then the wheel falling off, like, especially if I was driving next to somebody, could have really caused a bad accident for somebody else. So just to think about that is pretty scary. But his friend was able to fix it relatively cheaply, much cheaper than a shop would have cost. It's always good to have a good mechanic friend. When you find a good mechanic, keep them around. I mean, even if you're paying shop fees, just finding a good mechanic, that's kind of a challenge in itself. We've gone through, before finding this guy who ended up being our neighbor at our last place, we went through a lot of mechanics who were like recommended, and then they end up being like complete shit. So, hey Molly, coming for cuddles? Oh, coming for cuddles? Hi. You look scared. Why are your eyes so big? You wanted over here for cuddles. I don't know, her eyes just got like, are you gonna fall? Her eyes just got like super big. But yeah, that's been going on. And then my grandma, who, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while and been watching me, you know we inherited my grandmother's house. Well, kind of. She ended up having to go into a nursing home because her health was really going downhill. She couldn't take care of herself. We were having to come over here on a daily basis to do the cooking and the cleaning. There was people coming almost on a daily basis that were like medical care people. Not really for sure what all they did, but they just kind of helped take care of her and stuff. They didn't do any housework, but they just like came to monitor her. There was one lady that came to monitor once a week that would come to monitor like her blood pressure and to check her diabetes. And there was a guy that would come that was supposed to work with her on physical therapy because she was having a lot of problems with mobility and walking. And there's a lot going on. And they also ended up testing her for dementia, and it came to find out she had the beginning stages of dementia. And she was doing like things like turning on the stove, which is, it's a gas stove, so it's like an open flame. And she would just turn it on and then go take a nap. Or turn it on, cook something, and then try to turn it off by putting a lid over top of it, like she was smothering the flame. And it doesn't work like that. On top of that, our washer and dryer is in the basement, and she told me that she had days where whenever she'd go to do laundry, she would just spend all day in the basement, which we were trying to do her laundry, and we would tell her, I'm going to do your laundry, don't do it, I'm going to be over here tomorrow to do it. And you come over to do it, and she'd be like, oh, I did it last night. But she would go downstairs and just spend the entire time her laundry was in the wash in the basement. And then she was having problems getting out of the basement, and there was a few times she would get stuck on the landing and have to stand there for a while until she could get herself out. So it was just becoming a really dangerous living situation. On top of that, she was still like trying to drive, which that's not good. But she'd sit there and say, oh, I just can't get my legs to move. And she'd sit there and rock herself back and forth, trying to get out of a chair. And she'd be like, oh, I'm going to keep telling my legs to move. They just won't move. So, and plus this house is not handicap accessible in the least. Like, there's stairs in the front, stairs in the back. There's like, it's not handicap accessible. So she had to go to the nursing home. And she's just kind of, mentally, she's going downhill a lot. And I don't know if it's because of being in a nursing home and because we know she's kind of depressed about being in a nursing home, which we have her in one of the nicer nursing homes in town. It's not like the nicest because our insurance won't pay for that and we can't afford it. But it's like one of the nicest nursing homes that we could afford, and it really is a nice one. I've been in some, like the one my last grandmother was in, my other grandmother was in, and that place like smelled like pee half the time, and it was just really not good. And this nursing home, I mean, occasionally you'll walk past a room and it smells like pee, but that's because somebody just pee and the nurses are in there taking care of it. But for the most part, like, it smells good, it smells clean, the staff's really nice, they're really nice to her. The room is really nice. She has a view of the garden, and there's always all kinds of activities going on, and she seems to be making a lot of friends. So on that aspect, like, it's really good. But then she's also really depressed because, like, when she went into the nursing home, which the hospital was like a whole thing. It was really bad. But the hospital she ended up getting really sick, had to go to the ER, and the ER was like, look, she can't live on her own anymore. And so that's when we had to, they put her into one nursing home, and she had like 90 days in there. And then it was like, if we didn't get a permanent room in that nursing home, she'd either be released or we'd have to find her another nursing home. And since the doctors were like, look, she really shouldn't live on her own, you know, we had to find another home for her because this nursing home they put her in was one that had like, and they just had something set up with the hospital where pretty much anybody who had to go to rehabilitation or a nursing home went there first. So, like, all their beds were pretty much always full. So, we had to get her another nursing home, yada yada. And when she first went, she understood. And she wasn't exactly happy about it, but she was enjoying all of the care and the attention she was getting, which the care and the attention hasn't changed any. But her mind is starting to go, and she's starting to get mean with some of the comments she makes, and she'll just say things that are just hurtful. So that's something we've been having to deal with, and we're looking at having to test her for Alzheimer's. I don't know why I'm flapping my wings, but that's been pretty difficult. Yeah, it really sucks to watch somebody you love go downhill like that. I mean, I just watched that, it'll be 2 years ago now, this summer, that my other grandmother passed away, and she had dementia and Alzheimer's, and that was just really hard. And so it sucks to have to watch it happen again, you know. But yeah, I guess that kind of wraps up everything I was wanting to talk to you guys about. I'm at like 15 minutes, and I have like 12 minutes left for filming on my camera. So I guess there's not a whole lot left to be said. Yeah, sorry to end that on such a sour note. But I just felt like talking to you guys about it and just putting it out there, I guess. And I am considering doing a video for how to deal with having a family member in the nursing home with Alzheimer's and stuff, because I know that's difficult to deal with. It's difficult to watch. I watched it with my last grandmother, and it was really horrible to watch her mind pretty much turn to mush in a matter of 6 months, and to know that my grandma, who's still alive, is heading down that same path. It's hard, and it's not easy, and it's just part of life. Dying is part of life, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. So thanks for watching. Sorry this was kind of like a downer video, but I just felt like I needed to get it out there for myself. So thanks for watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Does she have her hand on your hand? Or paw on your hand?